Hey guys, it's Derek here. WrestleMania weekend LA, crazy. We're doing a little bit of everything except WrestleMania. Couldn't get tickets, wah. But we got a whole bunch in store, including, what are we doing tonight, Marky?
Tonight, downtown Los Angeles Globe Theater, New Japan Pro Wrestling versus Impact.
Ooh, it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be so good. Stay tuned. Why is it doing that?
Have your hands in your face like that?
Alright, these will be the blooper reels. I'll leave them in. Hey guys. Hi. A little tired. It's late. As you saw from the intro, it's the beginning of WrestleMania weekend. Excuse the odd camera angles here. We're just working with what we got. We want to wrap up the night while it's still fresh in our heads because we have a really busy day tomorrow. So, this is my good pal, Marky Makeup. We tend to go to all the indie shows together here in LA, in
Yes.
La La Land. And tonight, we attended New Japan Pro Wrestling versus Impact at the historic Globe Theater. And let's talk about it.
Let's get right into it. You will see from my video, I took us to the parking garage, then we went and we ate. By the time we got there was a big old line. We had kind of missed the first match. The first match was Yu Uemura? That's a hell of a name.
Yeah.
And Gabriel Kidd. Gabriel Kidd looked really good.
Wow.
He did lose, but it looked like it was hard hitting and fast.
So for some context, I'm still learning about some of these independent promotions. I haven't really cited all my faves yet, but man, I got some tonight. I definitely got some faves tonight for sure. Impact showed out, New Japan showed out. When we got there, the Globe Theater isn't particularly big, and they had rows of seats around the ring and standing room plus the balconies. We just kind of tucked in where we could and just stayed put for the entire show. And we've done independent shows together, and usually we roam around. This time we didn't. We stayed put. What was the second match?
So the second match actually started the pay-per-view, which must have been at 7 o'clock. So that pre-match was what, 6:30? Because we were on time.
No, show was at 8. So yeah, the first match was like the pre-match.
Yeah, so because this started the pay-per-view. This was a pay-per-view. If you're sitting at home going, New Japan, never heard of it, and Impact, are they still on TV? Get rid of all that, because this show was awesome, full of people I've heard of, and you should hear of, and we started off with 6 of them in a very big way.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so many people in one match. It was kind of like, we thought it was going to be overwhelming, and it wasn't. It was brilliant. It's what was the X Division Championship,
Which is still around. I know some of you say, I remember X Division with AJ Styles. The X Division Championship is still around, and it is just as exciting as you remember.
Yep. And the current champion is the one and only Trey Miguel, who is quite popular amongst our friend group. And his opponents in a 6-man rumble consisted of Rick Swann.
You all remember Rich Swann from 205 Live. He got in a little trouble, so now he's on the Indies, but that's okay, it's fine, everybody gets a second chance.
Frankie Kazarian, the hometown hero.
Now, you all know Frankie Kazarian. He was probably twice the age of the other guys in this one, but I bet you he wrote this match and produced it because he was directing traffic. The bodies were flying everywhere.
And he looked great, but he looked amazing. Rocky Romero from Roppongi Vice. We also had Kevin Knight, Clark Connors, and did I miss anybody?
That was everybody.
And that was
Trey
everybody.
Miguel, the champion.
Yeah, oh man. Beautiful match. You expect chaos when there's so many people in one ring, but they were very well coordinated, and the chaos that was there just worked. It worked. A leg drop for you. It was great. I loved it. What'd you think?
Trey Miguel was a great heel. They did a couple of these spots where they all drop kicked the middle of the ring, and the first time they all miss the drop kick, but then the second time everybody drop kicks Trey Miguel. It was good. It was a funny spot. They also did the headlock spot where everybody headlocks the next guy and they daisy chain a headlock, and that's the appropriate use of that term. So it was all the spots, but it was great.
Okay, so who was the hottie of the match?
Oh my God, it's Trey Miguel.
I have to give it. Trey Miguel was.
Trey Miguel.
I'm definitely a Kazarian fan, but Trey wasn't a crowd favorite, interesting enough, but he still retained.
He had the heel swagger. It was just
did.
like, forget about it.
And his ring gear was awesome.
He looked great. He was gleaming in white.
Yeah.
He had big event feel.
Okay, next match. This one's a big one because...
Before we continue, Trey Miguel retains the title.
Yeah.
And beat everybody else. Spoiler alert.
Spoilers.
I think you're not.
Let's go back!
I don't think you're gonna get spoilers here.
What's the next one?
Alright, this was a 4-on-4 tag match, which is called an 8-man tag, but I got confused. 2 teams of 4. Marky was sitting doing math at a wrestling show. But it's not 2-2-2-2. It was 2 teams of 4, still an 8-man tag match. A lot of names I didn't know, but one name I definitely left knowing was PCO. I don't know if you've seen PCO. It's a Frankenstein gimmick. And if you had told me a Frankenstein gimmick was over, I would have said, no way. It can't be possible.
The thing
PCO, Frankenstein gimmick, totally over.
The thing is, though, it's not just the gimmick. He's been in the game forever. I've seen him only from other people's highlight reels. But I have to say, the other faces were all completely new to me. And a lot of them won me over. A lot of them absolutely won me over. Who did we have? Callahan, Moxley's old tag team.
Yeah, where's a post-apocalypse fest?
We had Fred Rossier and Alex Colin.
Excuse you, Alex Coughlin. Alex Coughlin does not miss a day at the gym, because he was picking up and tossing everybody.
Feats of strength, like, ridiculous. And then the opposing team was Eddie Edwards, Joe Hendry, who... the gimmick blew me away. He's like an evangelical cult leader of some kind. I don't know. It's great.
The multiverse is united. Because it doesn't matter which galaxy, which solar system, which planet, or even which country. Whether you're here for an extraterrestrial event or Hendry Mania, it doesn't matter. Because we all speak the same language when we say the words, we believe.
He's an evangelical pastor.
It was believe in the Hendry. He got some mic time on the show, which was rare because this show had to keep moving.
Yeah.
But they did gave him the mic for a second.
He's amazing. He's amazing.
He was a character.
Yeah. We had Tom Lawler and his Lawler, sorry.
Tom Lawler, boy.
And his little Daisy Dukes, man.
You know, he was a piece of work, boy. Tattooed and grizzled.
And then we had J.R. Kratos, who reminded me of Zangief from Street Fighter. And
J.R. Kratos.
His red.
It was a beef of a man.
There were some impressive spots.
This wasn't the most men slapping meat, but this was close. That's coming up. Don't worry. But this was a lot.
You'll see in the highlights after. PCO was so over.
I don't know if you got this, but we're using cage side seats as our cheat sheet. Big spot to pop was PCO with a moonsault to the outside onto bodies. Did you get that?
I didn't.
I don't know if I got it, but golly, it was more of those train wrecks, and then somebody died.
Yeah, like, it was scary.
Jim Cornette would hate this match. It was one of those. Everybody's outside, somebody dives. But wow, PCO was over.
Yeah.
Over.
Yeah. And he hit a few moonsaults too, and he's a little older. I don't know if you know him. He's a little bit older, and he was doing it. He was living his best. Who was the hottie of the match for you?
This is a tough one because I like Hendry, but I like to hate him. But I'm gonna have to be basic and go with Coughlin.
I think I'm gonna have to also, because
Coughlin had a Freddie Mercury mustache going on, and I like.
I kind of feel like him and Hendry were similar builds, but Coughlin was a little bit smaller. For him to do the same feats of strength was really, really impressive. And they're just, muscly beef hunks. We love them all. Any other highlights for this match?
He finished it with a moonsault. Go out of your way, folks, to see if you don't know PCO.
Yeah.
Consider this your introduction. All right, this next one. We did not have a lot of singles competition. There was a lot of multiple humans. There was only a couple singles matches, and this was one of them. Jeff Cobb, who some of you know from AEW, had a great showing on AEW versus a new person who I'd never seen before called Moose.
Moose. I have seen Moose in a handful of highlights again. Never seen him in person. He is a big man. I don't know what he's billed at, but he is tall. He is beefy. And if you know Cobb's really, really stout for his size. And it was just two big, meaty men slapping meat.
It was two big, meaty men slapping meat. Moose comes out in trunks and boots. He ain't taped up his wrist. He ain't got no elbow pads. He ain't got no knee pads. This was just bone on bone. Just people tossing each other around.
He's upstairs. Oh, hell. Oh, my God.
Wow. And it was brutal.
Yeah. And it started out with, the big guys colliding, and out of nowhere, it turned into, 7-foot-high drop kicks and spills to the outside.
Moose has a drop kick I never want to see coming at me my entire life. It was like, oh my gosh.
And despite Cobb's traction right now, the crowd was split right down the middle.
Crowd was pretty split.
It was a great match, especially for it being the first singles match of the night. Oh, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was a really good match.
And a match that had a lot of, perhaps some would say, flippy shit, or cruiserweights, or vanilla midgets. These were two big league sized guys.
Yeah. Moose scared us a few times with some high jumps and stuff. But,
Wrong promotion!
We don't listen to you, Ram. Shut up!
He's got his foot hooked.
We don't respect your authority. This one that boy haircut.
Is she gonna do it? Oh!
This time,
there were a lot of spots in this entire show that made me nervous.
Yeah.
Like, don't anybody get carried out, please. Everybody just make it through. Just have a good show. It's Thursday. We got a lot of shows to do. Don't get injured on tonight. Okay. We had the women in this one.
Oh, yes.
We're in the next four-way. And if I'm going to tell you, brutal. These women look like they hate each other.
Yes.
There were some miscommunications, but go ahead. Deonna Purrazzo.
Who do we have with us? We had Marsha Slamovic, who just came off of her win at GCW. Giselle Shaw, who I had not heard of yet. And Miyu Yamashita.
Mm-hmm.
The crowd was definitely behind Deonna and Miyu. There was a little bit of fanfare for Marsha, but poor Giselle.
Some people were going in there. Giselle played the role excellent.
She really did. I have to give it to her. I actually looked her up during the match. And she's a veteran. She's from the Philippines. She's performed in London. She's gone under a few different names, like I think it was Reina Reyes and the Azteca. But oh yeah, she played her part well, and she hit some impressive spots on top of everything.
And if you're a person out there that says, I've never heard of these people, the winner of this match gets to take on Mickie James, who I know you've heard of. She was on hand for commentary. Always good to see. Beautiful. Mickie James doesn't look like she's aged a day.
Not at all. And the fact that she was there strutting the belt, and then of course, you know, gets to stare off with the winner at the end. It's just, the story's writing itself. Great match, great match. Who walked away from that one? It was the voice, right? Deanna? I was rooting for Marsha, but I think it was Deanna that walked away.
It was Deanna Purrazzo.
Yeah.
So she's gonna take on Mickie James. Yeah, this one was brutal. This was not the smoothest of matches. This one was brutal.
She's going for it. She likes this pile driver. That's it. It's over.
Another one. This was a good. I feel throwbacky for me because I was a big fan in 2006 of the Motor City Machine Guns.
You actually knew.
I used to hang out with Chris Sabian. Chris Sabian was fun. Of the Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley, and
but this was a four-way tag match.
Four-way tag match for the Impact Tag Team Championship belts.
Mm-hmm. And it was against the
champions, the Bullet Club.
Ace Austin and Chris Bay from the Bullet Club are the current champions against the Motor City Machine Guns, against TMDK. Which is who was that? Alex Shelley and Chris Sabian?
Lies. That's Motor City Machine Guns. So it was Shane and Bad Dude Tito.
Shane Hayes and Bad Dude Tito. Interesting combination, those two.
Boy. One of them looks like the Lost Steiner brother, and or Dr. Death Steve Williams. Check them out. They are big guys, and they were flying.
Oh yeah.
We're keeping pace with.
And then, of course, the last team entry was Aussie Open. So you just got already a bunch of great teams just bumping heads trying to fight for this belt.
What's happening? What's going on? Get him while he's writhing. Trickster.
Man.
It was wild. It was a good one.
It was so good. It was so good. There were some spots in there where, all right, I just can't even. You have to look at the highlights. Like.
He's gonna pass him off. Yeah.
There were so many good spots. At first, when they were all coming into the ring one by one, they were all actually kind of like palling around and joking with one another, which you don't normally see in competition, especially a championship match. But that kind of added some levity to the match, I felt like.
I think there was such a cool vibe with this show because it is two companies combining on WrestleMania weekend from all over the globe to have this match, and it was just a big fun salad. And at the beginning there was a little palling around, but I tell you, that Fletcher boy, you know, mouth on him. They shut him up a couple times.
Yeah.
But
Oh no.
me, this was my first time really experiencing Ace and Bay from the Bullet Club, and I am fans now. Hottie of the match for me was Ace. Sorry, Fletcher, you come in a close second, but this guy worked the room. He worked the room. He got the hot tag really late in the match and just showed out. Oh, so
yeah,
good.
and in the beginning, if you're thinking you're not getting enough Bullet Club, towards the end, you get a lot of Bullet Club, because then they clean up everybody, retain the tag team championships. Hottie the match is always going to be Chris Sabin forever, so.
I'm not mad at it.
Now, here had this next one. So, this is kind of an interesting thing happened. Kushida and Lio Rush. I personally don't know if you folks out there still like Lio Rush, or if you hate him because he was a drama queen in the WWE.
Not just WWE, because then he went
everywhere.
to AEW.
Well, then he retired.
And
then
stayed for like
became a
2
rapper.
matches.
Yes,
Yeah.
because then he retired, and
Yeah.
then he left, and then he retired, and then he left, and then he quit, then he retired, and then he came back.
Whether you're a fan of Lio Rush or not, most people are fans of the Time Splitter, Kushida. And I know I was looking forward to seeing him again, and it was an interesting match.
Something happened in this match. We had all these multi-man matches, all these car crashes, all this flippy shit, and this one, I expected more flippy shit from Lio Rush. This one started off, Kushida was laying on his back, which is kind of a very jiu-jitsu thing.
Yeah.
To lie on your back and say, take a leg.
Yeah.
And this one was more technical wrestling that I thought we were going to see. And something, the air was out of the crowd. Something had happened. We were either exhausted or, I don't know.
The technicality did become impressive toward the end of the match. Come on, Time Splitter! But it took us a while. It was like a slow boil to get there.
They say on the commentary team noticed that Kushida was kind of being the heel, and Lio Rush was kind of being the heel. Maybe there was a disconnect there as well. They also commented on Kushida's No Marty McFly wardrobe. So if you're a big gear person, check it out. Back to the Future reference.
He only had the glasses, and then he had like a custom jacket of some sort. It wasn't the traditional look. I don't know if the Time Splitter's trying to split away from the gimmick, but he has a whole stable based around it now, so I doubt it. I don't know. It was a little off. It was a little off. Hottie of the match is still Kushida for me. I think he's cutie. He's a little cutie.
Jeez, I had to say, let Lio Rush. Listen, if you're 5 feet tall, come talk to me. Rush tapped out. They did have kind of I think it was unnecessary and strange, but they were, he declined the handshake, and then he kneeled down, and what'd they do? They bowed, they hugged, they shook hands, they kissed, they hugged, they bowed. I was like, I don't know if we need all that.
They did all that, yeah.
So decide if you hate each other or not.
Okay, then after that we had, what did we have? Oh, jeez.
Folks, what did we have?
We had the New Japan Pro Strong Openweight Championship with Kenta defending against Nori Suzuki. Or as the crowd affectionately referred to as Murder Grandpa.
Murder Grandpa was in the house, ready to kill a bitch.
He took a pretty good beating in the beginning.
They rolled to the outside. Not a lot of guys went to the outside around the ring, except to do, the typical stack up and dive. But they came out in front of us, and it was the Lord smacked the soul out of each other. I just might as well have just been a real fight.
Yeah, no.
It would have been easier if they're, the Undertaker used to say, hit me with your hardest shot, because your fake punches would probably be worse, So, this was a brutal one. This one was everything you'd expect from these two.
I jokingly said to him, get ready for 30 minutes of chops. But we got chops, paintbrushes, kicks. Like, it was full contact. It was It wasn't as technical as I expected to be. Until the end. Toward the end, it did get pretty technical. But I'm not very familiar with Kenta. And I tell you what, boy, he is a heel and a half.
He's got the real bad attitude, and he's real good at it.
Yeah.
He did a little cat and mouse, out of the ring, into the ring, out of the ring.
And then, of course, he retained his championship by cheating, like you do.
This was not. I was not a fan. They did the ref bump to a low blow to a pin. It seemed very rushed, very fast. I don't know if maybe they said go home. They got the go home real quick, but it was very bump, low blow, pin. It was kind of like, oh, whoa, if you blink, you missed it. Like, it took me longer to say it than it did to actually happen.
Yeah. But the crowd was definitely...
And the crowd loved these two. They
were to be there.
They were so excited to yell, so excited to boo, so excited to call him Murder Grandpa, and to chant, and to say, Kenta, you suck. So the crowd was a little bit back in this one.
Yeah. And then we had the main event. And now let me tell you, for some
Tanahashi versus Ospreay. What?
Yeah. Let me tell you. So the whole reason why I bought our tickets for this event was because I wanted to see Ospreay. I didn't even look at the card. The moment I saw Ospreay versus Speedball Mike Bailey, I bought those tickets. After Ospreay got hurt and obviously wasn't going to be able to perform, I was like, oh well, whatever, it's still going to be a good show. I didn't even check out the card until we were in line to get into the theater. And when I saw who Speedball's opponent was going to be, I said, oh, it's still going to be a legendary match. It's going to be a great match. You've got the veteran versus the hot new kid, you know, and he's not even that new anymore.
We've already seen him at GCW.
Live.
Yeah.
Mike Bailey is amazing. He's amazing. And I don't know how long he's been with Impact, but I know his name has been associated with them for a little while now.
He's kind of been a bounce around indie guy going everywhere.
They put on a clinic.
Nobody's listening to you, Rev.
A clinic. It was a combination of everything you would want to see. It was some flashy, it was some technical, it was some classic, it was a little bit of everything. Oh my god! Oh, I wasn't expecting that. Other than do a leg drop, I didn't... I will say, Mike Bailey scared the shit out of me twice during this match.
I was scared a lot tonight for the safety of people involved. There were some pile drivers tonight. Just stop it.
Whoa.
Stop doing pile drivers. You're not going to do them in WWE. Don't do them in the Indies. Just stop it. But there was a lot of scare. There was a dive on the other side of the ring. He springboarded to the top and then did a moose, but it did not look like Tanahashi knew it was coming.
No,
they looked very far.
I thought Mike Bailey, because you could feel the landing on the ground. I thought he might have landed too hard, busted an ankle, busted a foot, something. I mean, it was such a rough landing. But then they got back in the ring before the count was up, and they kept going.
You get a 20 count. This is the New Japan rules.
Yeah.
New Japan gets a 20 count. So every so often we got 20 counts.
Then there was a spot in the ropes where they were both teetering, I think, on the second rope, and Mike Bailey fell backward and just his head made such a loud noise when it hit the mat. The whole crowd went silent because we were like, oh, is he hurt? What? Oh my god!
When he was in the top rope.
His head. I was kind of frozen in fear. Like, I thought this man really hurt himself.
I think it looked good, but I do think it was a shoulder bump.
Yeah.
But he got a little bit of a mullet back there.
Yeah.
That kind of blends the thing.
The
but,
whole crowd was shook, but he got back up and they kept going, and we're like, oh, okay, ooh, thank goodness. What stood out to you?
Speedball always brings the kicks.
Yeah.
He always leaves it all out there. And these guys beating the crap out of each other. It's Thursday. This is night one of a very long 4-day weekend for these guys, and nobody... It didn't look like anybody was like,
nobody
let's
phoned
just
it in.
phone this in real quick, because I gotta wrestle 10 more times in the next 4 days.
No.
These guys definitely let it all hang out. Those double knees to the gut.
Oh. If you don't know,
there's no way to pull it.
If you've never seen Speedball before, one of his signature moves is a shooting star double knee drop, and there's no way you can prep for that. Hey, that was creative. Do the knees? Yes!
Yeah, he had fast kicks. Just things were hitting. Oh, so stiff. Everything was stiff.
And of course, I'm gonna say it. Speedball was the hottie of the match for me.
Speedball's a dreamboat.
He's such a cutie, and he just got married recently. Congratulations, Speedball. We're jelly, but we're still happy for you.
This one did end with a frog splash.
It did.
Yeah,
yes.
very traditional splash off the top rope.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of like, huh?
Well, Tanahashi still has that, like, old feel about his wrestling. Like, he's got the feathery 80s hair. He plays up to the crowd with the air guitar.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's very that.
You know, so, like, that kind of finishing
he's
for him.
He's like cosplaying an 80s wrestler.
Yeah, exactly. It felt appropriate. It felt like a good win for him. But he's also a big dude. He's deceptively big, especially next to a smaller wrestler like Bailey. It was great. Great match. We just keep talking about it. If we don't stop, we'll have like an hour's worth of film to edit.
He was good. Then we had kind of a post celebration. There was some pyro. I don't know if the pay-per-view could see the pyro. That was kind of above everything. And then we got a lot of air guitar. He threw his guitar to the crowd, then he got it back and he air guitared.
And they actually play riffs when he's actually air guitaring. It's fun.
Yeah, so if you didn't, if there was a post credit, if it went off the air, he had a good air guitar. Are you gonna air guitar for us?
No, I was gonna show off the exclusive merch. I didn't bring any out with us.
We did get some exclusive merch. It was fun.
But yeah, so that was the end of our night, and like he said, this is just day one.
This is day one.
Tomorrow, I think, is going to be our most busy day. We're going to check out the WWE Marketplace at the Convention Center.
At the Convention Center, they got exclusive merch, meet and greets, autographs, and a museum. I'm very excited to see a museum. We've already seen looks like the Eddie Guerrero cars there. Yeah. There's a lot of pictures coming.
That's hashtag trending right now.
Yeah, it is. It was a big trend seeing Dominic and the Eddie Guerrero cars. It's blasphemy. This is a museum. Don't touch the art.
Right. We're also going to go off to the GCW versus DDT show. We're GCW fans. They're local, you know, so I love DDT. Them boys, it's crazy. Them boys and DDT is crazy. I hope it's all kinds of shenanigans. It's going to be great. And that one ends early enough that we can go catch up with some of our online fan club, girl power group, and just go party.
We'll see if we corral. Everybody might be like herding cats. Yeah. But we'll see if we meet up at the bars.
Did you say bars or baths?
I said
I heard baths, girl.
I said bars.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, after that we're going to do Effie's Big Gay Brunch 6 on Saturday. And then on Sunday, we're going to a special show. It's the first of its kind. It is the Mitzvah Mania, a star-studded show for the Jewish community. And fortunately, they're allowing anybody that's not a member of the synagogue to also attend. If you bought tickets, we bought tickets. We're going. So, busy weekend.
It's going to be a busy weekend. Mitzvah Mania, I think, is being put on by Colt Cabana. I could be wrong.
He's one of the headliners, amongst many others.
if you've sat through this and you're still a Major League fan, Chris Masters will be there, and Victoria, Lisa Marie Vaughan will be there as well. So yeah, it's gonna be a good one. Some of our other favorite indie folk will be there. Looks like it's gonna be weird, queer, and Jewish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get on board with it. I think it's gonna be wild.
Stay tuned, guys. There's plenty more to come. We gotta go get us some beauty sleep so we can handle it all tomorrow.
I am Marky Makeup. Head on over to my channel. You will see stuff from San Diego Comic-Con, celebrity red carpets, my shenanigans, puppets. You really want to see how CM Punk behaved at San Diego Comic-Con last year? I know you do. It's a great video about it.
I've seen it.
Including the AEW panel, so head on over there.
And if you're new here, which you probably are, because this is my first video, thanks for joining me. My name is Derek Stone, and this is Wrestling with Boys.